So you want to know what it costs to live in Whitby? In this video, we'll be covering off the cost to eat, sleep, play, and live here. Stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? My name is Brad with Ready at Home Realty, and I am a local realtor here in the Durham region. If it's your first time to the channel, please subscribe to it and click that little bell. That way you're notified each and every time I do post a new video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the cost of living in Whitby. So if you've been looking at moving here and you want to know what it costs to eat, sleep, play, everything here in Whitby, then this video will be great to hopefully answer some of that and give you a better idea of what it actually costs to live here. If you're looking to relocate, I absolutely love it when people reach out. You can call, text, email, send the carrier pigeons, whatever is easiest for you, and I'm here to make the transition so much easier. Without further ado, let's get into the video. Our first area that we're going to cover has to do with house prices. So if you've been looking to move to Whitby or the GTA, house prices is probably one of the first things that you've looked at if you are looking to move here and purchase. And the average house price in Whitby is $669,000. If you're going to compare that to Canada, Ontario, the GTA, and the rest of the Durham region, this is how it kind of sits. It is $180,000 above the Canadian average of a house price. It's $116,000 above the provincial average. It is about $201,000 below the GTA average. So if you're looking at moving specifically to the GTA, Whitby is one of the more affordable places based on the average home price. And then if you're going to compare it to the Durham region, Whitby sits at about $56,000 above the Durham region average house price. So let's jump onto the screen. I can show you what these numbers actually are. So I'll just go over this. It is the Canadian Real Estate Association website. So it's a website that you can go on to and check all this information for yourself. So you scroll this. So this is an interactive map, and you can click on the different province or territories, and you can see how the real estate market has been doing there. So we're interested in Canada as a whole, and then we'll go to Ontario as well. So as Canada, it's $488,000 is the average house price sale, and that factors in everything from townhomes all the way up to detached. Just as a Canadian average of house prices, that's what it is. Year over year, it's 1.3% lower than what it was last year. It doesn't mean that a house that was listed at $500,000 last year would now be listed at $490,000. It just averaged out the type of homes and average house price sale at that point, so that could factor that in. And then you look at Ontario, the average house price $593,000, and if you look at how it was last year, that's a 3.2% change in the negative. But again, doesn't mean that a $600,000 house now is worth $590,000. So that's not what that means. If you go onto the Durham region website, and they have a ton of information on here for people to look at. So their last updated report is for April. So they'll be doing the May one probably within the next few days, if not next week. So you click on to here, and it has the Durham housing report, and it has a lot of information that a lot of people like to read. It gives you the inflation, the real GDP growth, prime rate, just gives you a ton of information. It's kind of a neat read that I do monthly. So you go here. So this is where I got my information from. Durham region average house price was $602,000, and then if you go down to Whitby, it was $669,000. And then it has like the highlights below that, so you can go on and see number of listings, number of sales. Just gives you an idea of how everything has been going. And the last thing I will show you, so this is the back end of my system that, when I get a listing, I put it in there. If people are, looking for a specific thing, this is where I go in, I create their specific profile and just keep updated. So for the Durham region, let's see what's been listed. So $719,000 for a 4-bedroom. This is in Rolling Acres, so this is really close to where I live. And great area, good schools. And then you go here. So this is in Brooklyn. Brooklyn's a very high demand type area. This is a nice house actually. That won't last long. Yeah, it's a nice house. Then I go in here and then I can show you also what is sold. So that's kind of like the neat part about it is, and I'll filter it down to Whitby specifically. Go Durham, sorry. Whitby, and then we'll just do Whitby as a whole. Sold date we'll just go over from June 1st to give you an idea. So only one home has been recorded as sold, but you can see like the market with COVID, everything going on. This home was listed at $749. It sold for $750, so it's still sold for a solid price. And so that gives you an idea of what the market's like right now, and you know, the Whitby housing market. So I hope you enjoyed that. So let's jump on to our next section. So the second section has to do with the rental market here in Whitby. So if you are looking to move here and you wanted to rent before you buy, or if you're just looking here as an investment and you wanted to purchase a place and see how the rental market here in Whitby is, then this section will help with that. So for reference point, I am using the average 2-bedroom condo that has gone through the Toronto Real Estate Board. So for Whitby, the average was $217. If you're going to compare that to the GTA, that is about $694 below the GTA average. If you're going to compare that to the rest of the Durham region, then that's $92 above the Durham region. So let's jump onto the screen share, and then you can see the report that I use to share this information with you. So this is the back-end system of the Toronto Real Estate Board. So it's not something that the general public has access to. So I just wanted to show you where I got my information and the different reports that are available to realtors. So let's jump down to the screen and you click on the market stats. So that's where we'll go. And then for market reports and information, they have a ton of reports. For this one, we'll go over the rental market report. They have a quick overview, but I feel like maybe we should dig deep and go into the full report. So they have a lot of information. They compare how it was last year compared to this year. And for Toronto, so the Toronto Real Estate Board, covering pretty much anywhere that a listing has been put through the TREB system, it shows that the average has been 2,811. So that's for a 2-bedroom condo in Toronto. If you're looking at townhomes, the average price for a 2-bedroom condo in the GTA was $2,419. So you go down here and this is where it has all the areas that are reporting that they've had rental activity. And so you have Durham, so that was our first one, that is at $2,025. So that's what the cost for a 2-bedroom condo in the Durham region as a whole was. And then if you go down, you see Whitby, and the number for a 2-bedroom condo in Whitby, $2,117. So I hope you enjoyed that little screen share and you get to see kind of how the rental market is. So if you're looking to rent here, you jump on here and you can get an idea of what the rental market is. If you're looking to invest, again, it gives you an idea of what the rental market here in Whitby is. So let's jump on to our third section. So our third section has to do with the cost of living in relation to restaurants and, you know, just going out for a decent meal. Whitby has so many different options, and they have big chains like Boston Pizza and Jack Astor's and like so many like that. And then they have the small one-of-a-kind type restaurants, and the average dinner for two, 3-course meal with an adult beverage, sits at around $72.50. That includes taxes, tips. If you compare that to places like Toronto, you're looking about $85 or so. And some unique restaurants here in Whitby that I'm not endorsed by them, I'm just sharing my experiences with everybody, is the first one is Brothers Restaurante. It's located at Dundas and Garden, and it's a very unique place. I went there with my wife before kids, and they had the taster's beer menu where they brought you like 4 or 5 little beer glasses. You could sample the different beers that they had on tap, and my wife had to drive home that night. Another one, if you're looking for fish and chips, Halibut King Fish and Chips. It's located at Dundas and Hopkins, and it is the best fish and chips that I can honestly say that I've ever had. Even when my parents come up from Brampton, and that's always a place that if they can go there, they will, because it's just amazing fish that it's not only good for dinner, it's also good for breakfast the next day. If you're looking for something a little bit more upscale, where it's a very unique culinary experience, Bistro 67, which is actually it's operated by Durham College and the culinary school there. The very unique thing about that restaurant is it's all local produce, and it's kind of like everything local. So you go there, the menu is never the same, the wines are never the same. Like, just everything is always changing, and it's just a very neat little place to go to if you're looking for something different. And the last place that we can say that I can honestly reference out to anybody is Butchie's, and it's a place that's located at Dundas and McKay, and it's a very unique place. It's we went there and we had like the chicken fingers, fries, hush puppies, and I think we had like a Pepsi or something like that. And it was by far the best chicken fingers I ever had, and it was the first time I ever had hush puppies, and they were amazing. So hopefully you enjoyed the cost of living in relation to restaurants. And if you do have any experiences with those restaurants, drop it in the comments. If you are going there specifically because I'm recommending that you go there, just drop your experience in the comments, and I'd love to hear about it. So let's jump on to our fourth section. So our fourth section has to do with property taxes. So Whitby's tax rate is 1.139%, and they use that against the assessed value through MPAC. So MPAC is the company that assesses the value of a house. So you compare it to places like Toronto, where the tax rate there is 0.614. That's a big difference. But one thing with Toronto is double land transfer tax, and then the house prices are just much higher. So they either get you up front, like they are in Whitby, or they kind of get you on the back end, where you have places like Toronto where the tax rate's lower, but there's other factors to pretty much offset that. And another thing too, with the less concentrated an area is, the higher the tax rates have to be to kind of have that revenue coming in to help the city and the municipality operate it. And if you jump on the screen here, you'll see that you can go on the Durham Region website, and they answer the big question of what do property taxes pay for. And just a quick summary: they pay for the police, the fire, ambulances, the road maintenance, bridge work, the social services, public health. Like, this is all the stuff that they cover. And then you can scroll down and even shows you the percentages of based on the average house price and what they estimated the average property tax rate to be, the percentages of the dollars coming in and what they are used for. So hopefully you enjoyed the property tax section. Let's jump on to our fifth section. So our fifth section has to do with insurance. So the Whitby average insurance rate sits at about $1,700 and $1,752 to be exact. And the story I always share is I was born and raised in Brampton, and I moved to Oshawa back in 2012, 2013. And when I moved from Brampton to Oshawa, I only had one car, and we bought a second vehicle. So I had a 2010 Mazda 3, and then we bought a Ford F-150 truck. And believe it or not, when we moved from Brampton to Oshawa and got the second vehicle, our insurance rate dropped from like $2,700 just for the car to like $2,300 for the car and the truck. So that's like a little factor with the Durham region, is the insurance rates are really good. So now you're seeing on your screen, it's the kinetics.ca insurance map. So you can go on here and see, based on a city or a postal code or an address, what the average rate would be, and they color code them. So all the green you're seeing on the map is the least expensive area, and then the yellow is average, and then red is the most expensive. So you can see, coming from Brampton, it was in red. And then we moved to Oshawa, and I actually, when we moved to Oshawa, moved into that green area. And so now I'm living in Whitby, and my insurance rate when we moved here, I think it went up like $50 a year. So it didn't even go up a lot to be in that average rate. So this is obviously very dependent on your driving history record and what kind of vehicle you drive. But this is just a little factor that I like to show people, because it's a really cool map that it can help answer a lot of questions. hopefully you enjoyed the insurance, and hopefully I was able to make it as interesting as possible. But yeah, so that covers off insurance. So let's move on to our sixth section. So our sixth section has to do with transportation. So if you are here and you're driving, then the price of gas right now is sitting at about 92 cents per liter. And I don't know what's going on with the gas prices, but I love when they're this price. When you have a van and a truck, fill-ups are never cheap. So when you are saving 30 cents per liter from the average price, that's a pretty good deal. So the average price is about $1.20 or so per liter. And if you are reliant on the bus, the Durham Transit System, they have a really good bus system. And I'll just pull up that on my screen here so that you can see. If you go on to the website, it has all of the fares. So they offer the Presto Pass, which is like a prepaid card that you can purchase, and it actually saves you a little bit of money for every trip. So the single trip is $3.20, and then the monthly pass is $117. You can get 10 paper tickets, or you can pay cash only. It's $3.75. It's obviously cheaper if you are youth or if you are senior, and children 12 and under, they ride for free. So that's always good. They do offer an assistance program, so if you are on Ontario Works or ODSP, um, they'll save you quite a bit actually. Like I think it's like 40 something, yeah, $46 per month that you would be able to ride for. And then co-fare, so if you're connecting from the Go Transit system, you're only paying 80 cents per trip. So that's kind of a good little savings there. And then if you are commuting to Union Station or anywhere along the Go line, then it's $9.59 per trip. And they got rid of monthly passes. So what they do now is from trip 1 to 35, you're paying the full rate of $9.59. And then from trip number 36 to 40, you're paying $1.30 per trip. After 40 trips, you get to ride for free. So if you are looking to go to downtown Toronto on a weekend to watch the Raptors or the Jays or the Leafs or the Toronto FC or the Argos, there's so many different things you could go down to Toronto to watch. You get to ride it for free. So that's kind of cool. And then in terms of costing, if you were going to be doing this, 5 days a week riding is going to cost you about $95.90 per week. And then if you are looking on a monthly costing standpoint, it's $342 and about 15 cents per month. So it's not too bad considering you don't have to deal with rush hour traffic or the gas price of going there and back. So it would kind of balance out, I would guess. And then that covers off our transportation section. So let's move on to our seventh and final section. So our seventh section is the bonus section I put in for people who are relocating from different provinces or different countries, because these costs are going to be relatively the same if you're living in and around the GTA, but different if you're coming from outside of the GTA or outside of Ontario or outside of Canada. So the first one is daycare. So neither of my kids go to daycare. We do programs at the rec centers, and we do stuff to keep them busy. But me being in real estate full time, and my wife, she's fortunate enough to be a stay-at-home mom. So we don't have daycare costs, nor have we gone through the process of having our kids in daycare. So for this, I actually had my wife reach out to her mom groups. It's Facebook groups through, that are just different moms, and big shout out to them because she asked the question of, daycare costs or tips and tricks, and it was almost like instantaneously people had reached out with information. So the costs associated with daycare in the Durham region, Oshawa, Whitby, they averaged out between $20 and $61 per day. And this obviously factors in home daycares, part time. So that's kind of like the starting and then the high. And then if you average it out per week, it's about $100 to $305 per week. And the number one suggestion that a ton of moms gave my wife was, if you were considering the daycare and it's a full time thing, you might want to consider the Montessori, because the Montessori school systems here have a great reputation for people. That covers off the daycare. So the next section has to do with home utilities. So for these, because I live in Whitby, I'm just giving you what I pay on average per month. So for electricity, the company here is called Alexicon, so that was transferred over from Whitby Hydro, and we pay about $90 per week. So our house is it's like 6 or 7 months old. Everything is very high efficiency in the home, so that's what we average out being a very high efficiency home. And gas, so Enbridge is the provider for gas here. Our average bill is about $99 per month, and that covers the hot water tank. Like, sorry, not the rental for that, but the cost to heat the hot water, to keep the house warm. Our fireplace, which isn't on much now, but come winter, it's on quite a bit. With Enbridge, when you're setting up, there's a $25 setup fee just to make note of. And for water, the company here is Durham Water, and we average about $82 per month, and that's a standard household where it's me, my wife, and then our 2 kids. And there is a $30 setup fee for that. It's a one-time fee, and they do require a deposit. So their deposit is $250, and then after 1 year of having a good history with them, it applies as a bill credit. So you do get it back, but it is something that you do have to pay upfront. If you're looking at internet, then here you have the two big players, which is Bell and Rogers, and they're about $114 per month or so. And then they have Tech Savvy, which is kind of on the more affordable side of things, and they sit at about $37 per month. They do have different, you might have to buy a modem through them or whatnot. If you are looking to move to Whitby and you're looking at Bell or Rogers, then you can reach out, because I do have contacts that are pretty much door-to-door salespeople. Being in realtor, you're always looking for a deal, and I track down door-to-door salespeople for Bell and Rogers that when we switched to Rogers, and then the pricing was great, and then we switched back to Bell, and just because our preference was Bell, and the savings we had was really good. We were able to get top of the line internet, a great TV package with Bell 5, and our experience with that was really good. We even got a home alarm, which is great with a camera. So yeah, good experience with that. So if you need a contact for Bell or Rogers, reach out, absolutely. And then the final thing is groceries. So as a reference point, I'm just going to use milk, because with 2 small kids, we go through a lot of it, and that's pretty good determining factor in terms of grocery costs is milk. It's something that most people buy, and so I pay $5.39, and that's a 4-liter bag of Homo milk. So that covers off our bonus section, and I hope you enjoyed that. So that concludes our video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click that little like button. That way I know people are enjoying the content that I'm putting out there. If you forgot at the beginning of the video, subscribe to the channel and click that little bell. That way you're notified each and every time I do post a new video. I absolutely love when people reach out, so if you are looking to relocate here, call, text, email, send the carrier pigeons, whatever's easiest for you, and I'm here to make the whole relocation process so much easier. Thanks for watching, and again, I hope you enjoyed the video.